Get my body. That's what I was not thinking. But now.
It seems like they should be in the range. You're not passing that on to the relevant anyway.
And I know I tried
I've never had a Musí hlavně zvuk, jo? Tak, takže tak se hodí kameru na vás.
Okay, yes, you do the introduction. I will have
Anyway, it's better. They will try to. Yeah. So it's better to they will try how to.
If you want to speak, it's microphones for you, and you can stay here, for example. And the sound.
Thanks.
Jávat. Hanzo, zvuk běží?
Thank you once more for your patience, and I apologize once more. Who wants to sit, sit. Who wants to stand, stand. Dear family, friends, everyone here who are here with us or watching this ceremony via stream. We are gathering here today to honor the memory of our beloved son, husband, father, brother, and dear friend, Johnny Youngblood. I hope that this farewell ceremony will become at least a small step, a first step of your journey to overcome your great loss. And I also hope that we will make a friendly and intimate atmosphere. And you already made it, to be honest. To remember Johnny, as well as we can his lovely, kind personality and his really big heart. At first, we will hear an eulogy speech from Belinda, the close friend, both of Johnny and his dear wife, Barbara. Belinda, please, time is yours, stage is yours.
Thank you all for being here today. I was really honored when Barra asked me if I would come and do the eulogy, which on one hand is a task that nobody would want to have to do for someone that they love, but is also an honor. It was always an honor for me to talk about Johnny and celebrate Johnny Youngblood. So as you heard, my name is Belinda, and I'm just really one of the many people here who consider Johnny not just a friend, but a brother. I was talking to Che the other day, and he referred to this not as a funeral, but as a homegoing. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a term that was coined during the time of slavery in America, where slaves would say goodbye to those they lost by sending them home, a homegoing because they were going to home to the Lord, to heaven. And I think that's a really good reminder that today is not just a day to grieve and to mourn, but also a day to celebrate Johnny's life, to celebrate our gratefulness at being a part of his life. And through our love and fellowship, we celebrate the opportunity to send him home. We're here today in Prague, the place that Johnny made his home 10 years ago, thanks to his wife, Bara. And she really is the light of his life. He always spoke kindly about Bara, and I know how much your love meant to him. So I want to thank you, Bara, for bringing him here and bringing him into our lives. Also here is his mom, Caroline. She got on a plane and was here within a blink. It was kind of amazing, but not completely surprising considering that Johnny always told me about her strength, her love for him, her stubbornness. And she was able to be here with him every day to give him that mother's love. I know that meant a lot to him. And you gave him that comfort that you did from the day he was born. Letting him know that he's loved and cared for, and singing him your favorite song, "You Are My Sunshine." And then somewhere running around probably is William, who at barely 3 years old still carries the light and the smile of Johnny Youngblood that we all get to see. He probably won't remember this day so much, but with our help, he'll always be reminded of the amazing father he has. We also have people joining us from the US, including his dad, John, and his sister, Carmen. The great thing about Johnny is that it's kind of easy to summarize him. It's not like he was very complicated in that way. He didn't show one face to one group of people and another face to another group of people. If you talk to anybody who knows him, somebody who is a close friend or somebody who sees him in passing, and they'll pretty much all say the same things about Johnny. He was always in a great mood. He was kind to everybody he met, that he had incredible openness to all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. They'd say he has a big heart and so much courage even in dark situations. He could whip up delicious meals. He had a ridiculous knowledge of Filipino food. And let's not forget, this man had so much style. And you'd especially see that style on a beautiful sunny day, kind of like today. Because Johnny loved warm days and sunshine and the beach, another thing that we have plenty of here in Prague. But once you really got to know Johnny, you realize that his wonderful spirit, his good nature, his positivity, it didn't come from a charmed life. This was a man who lived with the wind in his face. He was against many odds, constantly battling against things that most of us don't even have to deal with now as adults. Never mind being born with it. Never mind the surgeries and the trips to the doctors as a child and to the school nurse, losing his first kidney at just 10 years old, suffering from bullying, abuse, and insecurity from the scars and tubes he had to endure to deal with his health issues. This would give most people enough reason to be angry, disappointed, victimized by the world. But did we hear him complaining? No. Did he use it as a reason or excuse not to do something? No. Did he not have time to listen to you or comfort you or be there because of his own pains? Never. He taught us that life is here for living, no matter what your condition is, whatever your pain or obstacles you have to fight. He was able to find something positive in any situation to be grateful for. Some of you may have seen, I dug through my Facebook and I found a post from May 25th, 2017, on an article about a person who had jumped in front of the metro here in Prague. It was sad news, and everyone was speculating about why. And one person wrote, "Well, if I wanted to kill myself, I'd definitely jump off the highest peak." And Johnny simply replied to the comment saying, "Once I climb the highest peak, I wouldn't want to kill myself." Man, doesn't that just sum up Johnny? He was always climbing. He was always striving for that next level. There's so much art that Johnny has made through his life. And I'm not only talking about C-Dream moniker you can find on bandcamp.com/Johnny Youngblood. But he wrote poetry. He loved to play around with graphic design, and he even started making his own beats. His talents are limitless. He had talents he wouldn't even show, like that boy can sing. With Missy as my witness, Johnny could sing, not just rap. He sang. Not only this, but he had this beautiful way of shining so brightly, yet never ever at the sake of putting other people down. The light he had shone down on all around him. Once when I was younger, I asked a friend who I knew lost his father how he dealt with it. Because I was young and I didn't understand how you could keep going after losing someone you loved. And he told me, "In our family, we believe that life is a parade. And when someone dies, you just got to keep beating your drum louder." And I love that. So I ask all of you to think of the things you love the most about Johnny and try to bring that to the world. Be more kind, be more open, be more courageous. And while his body might be gone, let's all ensure his legacy lives on in his words, his lyrics, his music. There's so many memories we have of Johnny that are not just in our head, but tangible videos, recordings, photographs. Please collect them, share them, build on them, and never stop. In his own words, time is money and value is in every grain of sand in the hourglass. Let's rock. And on those days when we get overwhelmed by the thought of him not being here, put on one of his songs, put your face to the sun, and you'll feel Johnny shining down on you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for your emotional speech. It was not easy to speak up in front of everyone here in this moment. Now I would like to call upon sharing our memories of Johnny. Anything important that you have in your heart or in your mind. Maybe something that you didn't tell Johnny, but you wanted. Something nice, some memory, some words of love. It can be anything. You can speak loudly for everybody. You can whisper. Or you can just go to the urn, touch the urn, and think something quietly. There will not be better time than now. Trust me. Please, everybody, be kind, be respectful for emotions of others, but be brave. I think someone wants to start. If you...
John learned early that there are things that you can't change. There are things that you have to accept. It's like saying the Serenity Prayer. God, help me to accept the things that I cannot change. Let me change the things I can. Give me the wisdom to know the difference. John accepted what he had to because he couldn't change it. I always told him John, you're not sick. You have a problem. And we solve problems. This last time, we couldn't solve that problem together. But he is, always has been my sunshine. He was my son. And I loved him dearly, and I would do anything for him. If he asked for anything, I never told him no. I'd say maybe, and then I'd do it. His sister, my daughter, the same thing. She was his mom along with me. He would get out of his bed at night and go across the room and get into bed with her. So she moved his bed to her room, and they slept together for many years until he was a big boy. The love that they had will endure. He was loved by his great grandma, his grandma. He was their favorite little boy. He was their favorite John John. I didn't, I wanted for him to have a family of his own. I used to tell him, I'm not going to be with you always, and you have to have someone who loves you. You need a family. And he did what I asked him to do. It may not have been in America, but from the time he brought Barb home, I told him, I said, John, she's the one. And he was afraid that he wouldn't measure up, but he did. He told me, he says, Mom, you taught me to be the best man I could be, and I have tried. I love him. I love him so much. And it's been so hard to give him up. When I go back home, a part of me will be gone. He was my heart and my soul. He was my spirit, and I was his. His spirit, when something was wrong, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every night, and I can feel when something is wrong. You know, when something is wrong, I go, I wake up in a dream, I can't find my baby. I text them, John, I dreamed I couldn't find you. But he said, Mommy, you came. I love you so much. I miss you. And when his spirit left, I knew, I knew. You know, one of the things he did, he says, Mommy, I'm getting out of this bed and I'm going to stand on my feet and I'm going to die like a man. I said, no, no, baby, please, no. But I know that day that that was going to be it. And he wanted me to tell Barbara that he loved her. And he wanted Willie, he wanted to live for Willie because he wanted to be a great dad. But that's my baby. He was my baby. William is his baby. William is Barbara's baby. And they are my family, just as my family in America is my family. But I want Barb to always remember that I chose you. I chose you. Just as my daughter is my daughter, Barbara is my daughter. She will always be my daughter, no matter what. Because that's what John would want. John wants love. He gets mad when people argue. He gets mad when they don't show love. So for John, show each other love. And just remember that you can change the things that are within your power to change and accept the things that you can't, but love through it. That's it.
I wrote something because I still haven't quite processed, to be honest, everything. And to be truthful, I'm not sure it's because I'm numb from everything that's been going on, whether it's in the world and Corona and being in the house, but just and I have a lot of anger, to be honest. All right. So me and the guy upstairs, we're not talking. I don't understand why always the great ones seem to go away too early. So, it's a crazy thing, when you move across, like a lot of us did, you move across and you leave home and you meet people that become your family. And, finding brothers and sisters actually sometimes closer than your own brothers and sisters. And that's how Johnny and I were day one, having that camaraderie of both being from the same place back in Virginia. And, at the time, both being married and having family and just, being black men out here in Europe, that's a bond. It's a bond that all my brothers share. And, we had some great, so many family events where, I remember taking up the Kachark up 7 flights of steps to the old house. And always being able to, always just having food and dinner and laughter, and the kids are playing, and I'm not gonna have that anymore. We're not. John was our brother, and I mean, like, those amazing events in our life, career, family, we all seem to celebrate it together. John had a way of making me feel at home. He made me feel home. Maybe he did it for a lot of other people too. Whether it be in our discussions of lifehood, parenthood, or just two Virginia boys talking about how bad Virginia State Police are. He was always level-headed. Never seen him down, upset, and he had a lot of things to be upset about. And I've never heard him complain. That's based how he was raised. And I'll keep it short because, I know a lot of other folks want to talk, but, Rafiki and I were in the car. I don't know about you guys, but he's made me better. And I think he's going to make a lot of us better people. you know, for having someone who, when Barbara posted that on her page, there were 480 different comments about how he touched them personally. Different areas, different ways he touched them from all over the world. He was an amazing man, and he'll continue to live through us all. And we just need to all pray for each other, support each other, and love each other, and do the best to get through what as we can. All right.
Reminds me of him. So, Caroline, there is one for you as well. So, in the invite that I sent to everybody, I was saying something about I seem to think about things 2 hours later. And yet I didn't really stop myself to reflect of what I'm going to say. So let's see, but I think Johnny would have loved a cookout, right? For his farewell party. He loved food, especially the one on a grill. He would grill anything that he would grill anything that would be possible to grill. I think we bought like 5 different grills to try to replace the one that we could never fit, the big one, right? So all ended up disaster. But I think he would love a grill out party with people hanging out and talking and music playing, and it's not exactly a cookout weather, and we have these restrictions in place. So I wanted to meet with intimate circle of friends and family to say farewell to him shortly after he passed. But I'm sure that there will be opportunities. I really hope that during the summer we will manage to do what he would have loved and
Over and over again.
right? And so, we met in 2000, and it would have been it will be our 10-year anniversary, wedding anniversary this year. And what I loved about him, and I wasn't able to tell that time, but I can reflect on it back, was when we were deciding, so we were friends for 10 years, just kind of chatting and checking on each other and living our lives and being in bad relationships. And then it ended up that we just felt like we wanted to be with each other. We always had this special connection of, in a way, like I knew when he proposed to somebody else. He called me in the morning and I said, I know what you're going to tell me. I had a dream about it. So we always had this weird special connection. And then, we decided that we wanted to be together. And he just went for it. We never really properly dated. We never really lived together. I went to see him for a couple of weeks, and then he went to see me for a couple of weeks, and then, in half year he was here in the Czech Republic, and then in 2.5 months we were getting married, and then here we are 10 years later. And so he went for it. And I met so many people just talking about stuff, and always just talking and never really doing it, right? And he would just quit his job, pack his things, move to a country that he had no clue about, had no beach, had strange language talking, and he would just do it. And all of a sudden I had a kind of a familiar but a strange guy in my living room, and we got married in 2.5 months, and so that was him. I could completely rely on him. I could completely, when he said something, I would know that it would be like that. And that's such a quality that not so many people has. and he, as people were already saying, he touched so many hearts and so many people, and all that support that we've been getting throughout the past months when he was already in a hospital, and all that love also from every one of you here. I feel so humble for that, and I feel that I am really privileged to be loved by somebody like him. And I think if I knew those 20 years ago or 10 years ago that it would end up like this, I wouldn't have changed it. I think I had a privilege to live the love that so many people don't have in their lives for their whole life, and I'm so grateful for that. The last day he was going for the hospital, it was a couple of days after Valentine's Day, and he bought me flowers, and I was telling him you shouldn't have because they came somewhere from Africa and it's a waste. And they died in like the second day, and I felt so sorry, right? But for the flowers. And he wrote me this little note. Doesn't matter what was on it, but I'm not so sentimental about keeping all kinds of stuff. But this note I kept, and I even put a date on it, and I was thinking, maybe I will need to remember this note. And then 2 days later, he was leaving for hospital, and there was a strong man going to the hospital. And not even 2 months later, he's gone. And he went to the hospital so many times before, and I never felt what I felt that day. We kissed and hugged, and we said everything will be okay. And then he walked out the door, and I had this thought of, I need to run to the elevator to kiss him one more time. And then I thought for a split second, it's stupid, right? Don't be dramatic. It's just another hospital. But then I did. I went to that elevator, and I kissed him, and I hugged him. And that was our last time that we were able to do that under some normal circumstances. And so I'm grateful I did. I think I would have regretted for the rest of my life if I wouldn't have. And so I think the life he would have had if he made it out of the hospital by some miracle, he would have hated. I know that deep down there is a part that is calm about his passing. Among all those crazy emotions, he would have hated that life. I think he gave himself freedom. I think he gave me freedom also to just beat the drums louder, I think.
Oh gosh, I have to do it now, otherwise I won't do it. Laura, may I hug you? One of the things I'll start saying it now is he's the best hugger in the world. And when I came to the studio, I said something that all people need to be hugged, touched, and loved. And when I met him, he grabbed me and he held me like Americans love to do. Thank you for coming into our lives. This is a beautiful event. I would love to say thank you to the funeral clowns.
That's their actual name, and not making fun of them.
Yeah, the actual name.
Thank you.
I thought it's hilarious. You would love it.
It's a beautiful event, and I really also want to say this is beautiful, and the sun is shining, Johnny, and we're thinking about you, and you're with us always. And I just want to be as brief as I can. And my hair is like this because there was an iron cap in Johnny Youngblood show, and my hair looked like poop. And then someone had a straightener, and then he said, "Ooh, you sprayed hair nice." So I tried to make it hair nice for you, Johnny. Great performer, and I'm a member of the studio, and he was part of every Wednesday night, and he was inspiration for all kinds of performance. And I think you were in Costa Rica for his 40th? No, but there was a Costa Rica event, and he wasn't here for his birthday, and it was Belinda and Marek, and maybe Marek is watching, and Amber, you were there. Costa Rica? Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, Puerto Rico. Everything got stolen. He came back and he didn't have Savet's keys. We remember this. And I also want to just be very clear that I came here to the Czech Republic. I too found family and home with Johnny. I went through trauma. That's what brought me here. Wasn't expecting to live in this beautiful and crazy speaking place. And he welcomed me. After meeting Belinda, he was my first friend. Because I had met you before, but he was my first friend at Savet's, and he invited me out for pizza. And we just sat and talked and kibitzed and shot the shit, and it was really fun. I was so grateful. And it was my first friend. So I was going through hard times, and he got me writing what is, I don't think, a very good rap. And so I'm just going to speak it. Despair. Despair is in the air, got no cares in the world, don't know how to function, like how to do the living in the CZ time warp. Got to get a new sort of flavors and skills and mind courts to play on, to be on, to live on. Here we go, yo, here we go, around and around to make our way home, yo. To win, to lose, to try again. When the wheel stops, will it ever end? The hustle is real and despair is a killer. Are you gonna let go? Or are you gonna be a star? Yeah.
Something sinister.
Something sinister. Okay, so 2015, my note.
Extra. Summer school fees.
Summer school fees.
Because he spoke English.
What? Dang. Oh, and you know what's funny? Because one of the last conversations when he was in the hospital, or before that, was, I know he wanted to teach English as a second language, and many of us came here as that our first job. He bypassed that completely because of you, Bara. And I also need you to know that we had many conversations, and it was always Bara or bust. Bara or bust. Full program, always, with you. Bara or bust. Okay, so this was when he was away, though, and I want to share it because Amber's here. And this is for you, Johnny. Thank you for your inspiration and the love that you've given us all in your life. It's Wednesday night, another night at Savet's. I got some salty sticks and Amber's in a vest, yo. Marek's here and the smiles are flowing. We're missing you, but it's all right because we're knowing you'll be back on the 14th of September. Just remember us because we're here and we need ya. Marek's beats are rad, but are nothing without Johnny Stees and hypnotic rhymes with. So we're here, Belinda delegating with the love and fun and the nights to remember. So yeah, remember us at Savet's. Have a great time on your trip. Peace out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Johnny.
I'm going to get people, okay?
So I have two more messages that are not from me. One is from his dad and one is from his sister Carmen. So I would love to read them on their behalf. So first one is from his pops, from his dad. There are so many great memories I have of my son John, like watching one of our favorite movie, Big Trouble in Little China, that we watched over and over and sitting on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach eating ice cream. Once, when I took him to my hometown, Macon, Georgia, we went to farmer's market and bought boiled peanuts. The lady gave us an empty cup with our boiled peanuts. John looked at an empty cup and asked me, "Dad, why did she give us an empty cup?" The lady chimed and said, "It's for your house." And who can say it with southern accent? House. House, right?
Shells, your holes.
John looked at me and I told him that house were the peanut shells, and he turned to me and said, why didn't she just say that?" Of course, I let him know that we always say words a bit differently here in the South. We laughed about that all the time. And I heard this story so many times, the two of them joking about it so many times. And I think when I have a chance, I really have to have the boiled peanuts. So that was beautiful message from his dad. And then I have another one from Carmen, his big sister. They're 10 years apart, right? Yeah. So, I am John's big sister Carmen. The day he was born was my first day of school in 5th grade. I wanted to go with my parents to the hospital, but they told me to go to school. When I came home, my uncle told me that I had a baby brother. I screamed and jumped about 3 feet off the ground. I could not wait to see him and hold him. It is 10 years and 9 days between us, so I was like his second mom. But fought like brothers and sisters do, despite the age difference. I could beat him up, but anybody else better not. I was protective of him, and he was of me. Once, when I was around 16, my then boyfriend and I were coming into the house from a pouring rain. I went in the door first. As my boyfriend was coming in, John slammed the door, which was at the perfect crotch height. John hated my boyfriend, obviously. He has always been a good judge of character. We loved making goofy faces and telling corny dad jokes. I loved his goofiness. Him thinking he was a better cook than me. His love of music was pure and from the heart. I introduced him to a tribe called Quest and Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang forever. Hip hop was a part of him and he was a part of hip hop. I will miss his smile, his voice, and his hugs. We had so many plans. He was going to show me Prague. We were going to do karaoke. He was going to come home and party with family. Nothing like a good cookout. Go to the beach again, our happy place. I will miss him beyond measure. Used to tell him I love you to the moon and back. I will miss you, my John John. That's it from them. Do we have anyone else who wants to share? And no pressure, it's really.
My mom wanted 3 children because she was trying for a boy. And after 3 daughters, she said in good American fashion, 3 strikes, you're out. My mom always wanted a son. And I didn't know what it was like to grow up with guys because all I had was my father, my grandfather, and my uncles. And my uncles were not always the best role models. And my grandparents had issues. And my father's dad died when my father was 7 years old. So having a brother is not something I grew up with. And my father is a strict authoritarian, so I was always a little scared of guys. I didn't really know what to do with them. I have cousins, and we roughhoused in the forest together. But that was once in my life. That was it. I didn't have strong male companionship. I didn't know what it was like to be loved by a man for me. Not my body, not my beauty, not my sex, just me, Joanna. Until I met Johnny Youngblood. My sister Belinda said there's somebody you have to meet. And anybody who knows me, I'm pretty self-contained. I get up on stage and I give it out, and then I go back into my place for me to recharge. And very few people get into my place. Very few people are invited into that sacred space. But after much convincing at Savette's, Johnny and I met. And there's even a picture where Johnny and my boyfriend at the time were dressed exactly alike, like brothers from another mother. Seriously. And so I thought, okay, I'll give this a try. And of course, we met for food. He came from work, we met in the mall, and we went for running sushi. And as the sushi went round and round and round, so did the stories. African Americans moved to Prague, lyricists, musicians, and we found so many common touch points I had never found with another guy because I was always on stage, trying to keep it just far enough to stay in control, to stay safe, to keep myself together, lest this person leave my life. And I have to put myself back together again. So don't get too close because you might touch the real me. And I don't know how I can put myself together again after you take a part of me with you. But with Johnny, his strength came from his gentleness, his kindness, his love, his bigness was big enough to overcome this pettiness in me. He made me a better person by making me a bigger person. He told me, you know, my mom and I came to your show. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, what did it? I don't remember. But I do remember, thanks sis. I do remember it was a dark and stormy night and I was shooting a music video and he was sick. And he wrote me a message that I was too busy to see. But when I saw him, he came through the door and he gave me that hug. And it was my first music video, so I was all... But he held me and he hugged me and I knew he understood. And I knew my brother had me. And he was there and he smiled and he danced. And when I was performing, he gave me that energy back because he knew, he understood. And he fed me back what I had been looking for from the world that I could get. And then when I got home, I read the message that I was too busy to read. And it said, I can't make it, but I'm thinking of you with love. That's the type of presence he brought to my life. And then I got this message. Hey, Jew. Not Jew, Juju. Because he's John and I'm Juju. He told me about how William was born. And I came in, I saw that little baby on the kitchen table in a little cabin, little bassinet, and we just held each other. And he made me an auntie. I'd always wanted to be an auntie. And he made that possible. And I remember meeting Bara, and I always called her Lady Bar. And I always thought, yeah, because you're my brother's lady. So you're Lady B. And with that, I gained a sister. And he said, and I'm telling these stories out of order. He said, Juju, Bar and I are going away on vacation and my mom's coming to town. He said, I'm not going to be there. Will you look after her? And I said, yeah, you can give her my number. And that's how we first had contact. And we talked. And as is the case, we didn't see each other, but we ran into each other at Martha's, at the hair shop, at the hair salon. And that's when we really met. And through the times, I have talked to Miss Caroline for so many hours talking. And it was because of her that I gained a brother. But not only did I gain a brother, because of Miss Caroline being in town, he said, Juju, we normally have a men's barbecue, but because my mom's coming to town, this time we'll invite the sisters. So, Miss Caroline, thank you that I got invited to the barbecue and I got an invite to the cookout because of you. And because of you and your presence and the fact that you gave me a brother, I therefore inherited these brothers in this space so that you know and understand what I mean, how much he meant and means to me. That when my brothers talk in the kitchen about their children growing up and how they love their little girls. And oh my goodness, my little girl won't talk to me. I don't know what I'm going to do. She's growing up so fast. When you talk about raising your children, and I see fine, strong Black men dedicated to their families, present, and giving the gift of life and raising and learning and growing and teaching and being role models and how you conduct your everyday business. There are no words to express what that means, to see that, to feel that love. And I'm going to leave you with this. People were in contact with me, Miss Caroline, trying to get in touch with you. I said, what in the world does Miss Caroline want? And that's how I found out that Johnny was in the hospital, because all I ever knew was John would go, hey, Juju. And I said, hey, John. He never once said anything about the hospital. Never once. He just wanted to see how you were doing. I found out from you he was in the hospital. And that's when I found out that you were doing the best you could to reach out with love for your baby when you were not there. And with that, the last message, one of the last messages I wrote to him was, you know, John, I'm a single woman out here trying to make it. But you know what? I'm talking to this knucklehead. But because of the love that I have from you and the quality men that I have met because of you, I know what true love and spirit are in this world. And I thank him, and I thank you, and I thank you. And I'm honored for the opportunity to be an auntie to William, so that you never forget that you are still my Lady B and you're still my sister. That just can't change. That's the way these things work. Because he gave me family.
Okay, I haven't planned this, so please excuse my English. My name is Jacob, but many of you probably know me as a Cap, and I would like to share my experience, how Johnny Youngblood touched my life. I met him about 9-10 years ago when we performed on the same event, which tried to help the rainforest, which is pretty much very important when you live in Central Europe. You try to save rainforest, right? It was only 8 people in this club. So, but Amazonia is still standing, so we made it. Since then, we became the friends. You know, like Johnny, I heard so many beautiful words already, and it's 100% truth. And Um, I would like to share just 2 or 3 stories. First thing first, because you said that Johnny loves food. Johnny was the man who introduced me to poke bowl. He told me, "You Cap, you have to try this shit. This is like a sushi, but it's in a ball. It's amazing. It's called fusion. I'm from America. This is like Asian. I don't know. Like this is not like national food. You must have tried it. The best." Then when I came back from Canada and I start touring with my band called Trouble Gang, we had like a couple big shows in Prague, in Sasa Zoo, in Forum Karlín, and I always asked John if he will open up with me, and he always agreed. And I remember that one night in Sasa Zoo, it was sold out club, around 2,000 people, and Johnny killed it so bad. And I remember he sat in the backstage and told me, "This is what I'm talking about, yo. See, I killed that. I can do this for a living, for real. I'm so underrated," and start laughing. And my very last memory, we made a music video and song last year together. It was the last time I was with Johnny in studio. But Johnny didn't came to the studio alone. He brought William. And he recorded the hook. "I got no time by any means. I got no time by any means." It was okay. It was like, we were tough, right? Like, we were really tough. But Johnny brought Lego for William. And William really wanted to, he didn't want to play. He wanted to be with his dad. So Johnny recorded that hook, hold the William, and hold the Lego. So between the takes, he was like, "Yo, buddy, you want to play with this?" "Okay, I'm ready. I got no time." "Oh, hold on, Lily. Hold it. There he's working." And that,
Is there any video of this?
I got a picture. I got a picture. I can show you the picture, like Johnny holding his son, like some toys, and we are recording in the middle of Prague, like really hardcore rap. Like my friend of mine from the United States once told me, like many people will walk into your life, but only true friends leave imprints in your heart.
Absolutely. Paula.
This is pretty much 100% true. I love you, Johnny. And even we are like came from totally different background. I was born and raised in Prague. He's from America, and I think I can call him my brother. And I love you, and you'll never be gone. And like you will live through William and through all of us. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank
love
you. Rafiki in the house.
Yeah.
Rafiki coming in.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Rafiki. Apologize. I'm probably about to ramble here for a minute, but hopefully when I'm done, I'll get the message. You'll get the message clear. So I'm a foreigner here in this country, like many of us, immigrant. And when you leave your country, your city, your state, what you do is you try to find something that's familiar to you so that you can ground yourself in your new environment. And if you're lucky enough, you find people that are like that are like you, that remind you of home or just give you this feeling that you belong. And because of the circles that I travel in, I kept hearing about this guy, Johnny Youngblood. So I didn't have to meet him to know this was the brother. Johnny Young, okay, yeah, I don't know him. So eventually I did meet this man. And very quickly I found out he liked the same things that I did, music, food. He was a great person. I remember I'd be cooking something or he'd be cooking something. He'd send me a picture. "Hey, this is what I'm making." He'd have a recipe for it. And he'd say, "Hey, put this in there, do this." Really good with that. And so in my culture, we have the saying, a brother from another mother, which basically means just that. If you have a brother, no matter what's going on, if your brother needs something, you give it to him. If he needs help, you help him. and there's no questions asked. There's no, you let them know that you need something, and that's it. And Johnny took that seriously. So I felt like this was a brother from another mother. I mean, maybe I'm selfish, but when I met him, I thought, oh, somebody here in this country, we're going to grow up old together here in this country. Our children will be raised together, and we'll, if ever I put out a message, I'm having a barbecue. Johnny was the first one to respond. Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. You doing a cookout? Yeah. Okay. When is it? Just he cleared schedule. But he took that brother from another mother seriously. I remember one time I was at the store and I took a picture. There was a car that was imported from America. I could tell it was because they don't sell that car here. But the bumper sticker was very, it had a message on it. And it was basically a racist message. And I took the picture and I sent it out to my Facebook, my messenger group. And Johnny saw it. He was like, man, you need us to come down there? That was his response. I still got it on my phone. It's like, we could come down there. I was like, nah, it's not that serious. But, Johnny was, he had a wife, newborn child, had a job. And all of this, he would send out these messages with these crazy things. Hey, let's meet up over here and let's do this. Or let's go halfway across town and let's go to this restaurant. Let's do this. And I'm thinking, how do you have all this energy, man? I can't. He had all of this going on and he was still trying to, I said, man, if I get home and cook dinner and get it on the table for my family, that's a good day. But Johnny, man, he'd be like, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm thinking, man, when I was younger, maybe I could hang with you. And so I'm realizing that Johnny knew the value of a day. And if he didn't get 100% out of that day, it wasn't because he didn't try, because he tried. And so now, like I was talking to Shay, I'm saying, man, he's making me look at things a lot differently, everything in my life. So I'm lucky and honored to have met this man. And we're gonna miss him. But my grandmother said, no one's ever gone if you keep the memory alive. So I got memories of Johnny. I feel like I've only known him a short time, but I got memories. I got memories of him playing spades in my backyard, having a good time. Basically, my neighbors must have been ready to kick me out of the flat, but we had that. So that memory will never go. And I'm, he made me a better person also. So that's.
I'm gonna say too,
Yeah.
Greetings, people, family, friends. We're here for John. Like I was telling people earlier, I've been out here for like 8 years now. I moved out here. It was a strategic decision. I came out here to be a Mr. Mom. I came out here for a month when my wife was pregnant. I met my Czech family out in, say it? There you go. Met my Czech family out in Mikovica, small family life. I can't pronounce it, but I can always tell a Czech person to say Monktown, and they can pronounce it very easily. That's my go-to. I don't speak Czech, but I know how to get you to hear me. So, and I don't know, it's like, John, like, for me, John is like the Black Prague ambassador. Somehow he found me on Facebook. And it was just like, you Black. Yeah, it was like, let's go, And then that's basically, like I was saying, basically John is my common denominator because I didn't really interact with Prague. I taught English, people were like, why don't you go to Prague and make money? I was like, why would I want to be a shark in the ocean when I can be a barracuda in the pond? So I stayed out there, and then John brought me to Shay. And I remember I met Shay, I was kind of thrown off. I won't say mean, but I met Shay for the first time, and Shay just came up and hugged me, and I was just like, I don't know you, He was like, because at that time, we have the Kings and Queens chat group, we we high level melanin people, we stick together. We stick together. So it was like, so I was kind of thrown off, but it was like, anytime I met like a new black person coming to Prague, it was like, hold on. Let me get the black ambassador, Johnny. I got a new dude. He's from Las Vegas. It was like, talk to the brother. It was like anytime I met a new black person to come here, it was like John just had that energy. And it's like, for many of you guys know, I shoot a little video, I shoot pictures at time. And it was like, I really enjoy Johnny because of his energy on stage. I've been marketing hip hop for the last 20 years. And it was like, for me, it was like, if Johnny had a concert, if it was Apocalypse, if it was Salves, all he had to do was send me a text. I'm there. Oh, you got a video shoot? I'm there. And it was like, because he always had so much fucking energy. And it was like, that's what I thrive off of. It was like, and that's what we need to take. Just like y'all was saying, beat the drums. Where I come from is we put the weight on your shoulders. He's not gone. It's like from just family, making sure that little guy has guidance, and just be missed. And that's all I got to say.
Yes.
When they came out with hip hop, I was totally against it. He was listening to, what is that? MW. Oh Lord! It's like, you can't play that crap in my car. But I had friends who said, "Yeah, we let him listen to it," and I'm going, "He can't go with y'all no more." And then he insisted on wearing his pants low, sagging. We were in the store in the layaway department, and he had his pants down. And so I said, "If you insist on wearing your pants down, I pull them back." He still did what he wanted to do. That was him. I couldn't stop him. He was determined, just like he was determined not to listen to me. He was his own man. I don't care what anybody says. They used to say he was a mama's boy, but he was his own man. I had to get that little hip hop thing in there. I hated that stuff. I'm really not a great fan right now, but I listen to my baby's work, and I'm amazed at the lyrics. And like I said, I paid extra money for this boy to plug in.
It paid off.
Yeah. School year, he didn't pass English. I paid during the summer for him to go to summer school.
He was making up words. whole new words you ain't never heard before.
He has great style and a fabulous way of delivering.
Yeah, well, I had to accept it because that was him. The other thing is, I always told him, when I die, you have to sing at my funeral. He will sing, and I'll be with him. But that was my baby.
Thank you, everybody. I have here a nice script to thank you, but I have to say that I'm really touched. And I can clearly see now how much he meant to you. And this ceremony is beautiful because of you, not because of us. So I have to thank you, not you, us. And now, we are in a good mood. We have one beautiful activity here. We will write messages to Johnny and let them sail on the water. Water symbolizes the purification of the soul and freedom. The river, the flow of life. The water will take away your beloved and will lead him to the next part of his journey. Let's use water also to wash away your own distress and call for freshness in your lives. We will use water blessed with a special prayer for Johnny. Please, take the pencil, the boat, and write something for him. Or you can take the plain paper, write your message, and fold the boat. Or I can fold it for you. Who wants a plain paper? We have plenty of it.
Awake, patiently for my harvest, the days are getting shorter. Broke the seeds are on the border, a low production. I'm feeling hungry. In order for my family to feast, I must eat the least and work the most. Pray for rain and hope to gain money for this grain, and that's the pain in my stomach won't go away. Hope will delay, just to lay to sleep. Just to think that to keep pounding the dirt, to choke on the dust, I must escape this rust. And man, he's a better from the thing we can't handle. So I grab the past pen and begin the groundwork for my world's spark. From a thought lift me from the rock, branch and chant and dance like the Navajo. Probably cause to break the laws of gravity. I have a free, gravity spit fusion, gravity right bushels on a full moon, harvest something that you're probably not used to. Family feeling useful, taking jewels from the earth to feed the universe. Feed the needy, they need to go around. The sound reaches from Europe to the Americas, preparing us and beyond. All of Vin's 360, go beyond the fall, the leaves to the equinox, leave me with sustenance to go on. Seeing that game from low, breaking fast. Catching our swords is so that it can last. But how much time we got? It's over in the past. Moving on, keep the mask. Gotta ask. Singing the anthem of the working class. Stretching our swords is so that it can last. But how much time we got? It's over in the past. We're moving on, keep the mask. Gotta ask. Trying to the rhapsody love song sang with my last breath. Mushroom doing my grasping, last will and testament, cinnamon left with heart, mind, and body. Beautiful as a crushing, waves of finality, leave class open with the bent seams of morality. My God stands witness, I hold myself, memory gives to the only reality. I wait the impending earth at peace with the world, everything that dies regenerates. First by water, earth tends slowly incinerate. It spreads and it's my turn, I burn slowly. It's so hot, it's surreal, but feels off. Left with brain snow, halo, new fangle, start mangle, and twisted. New pieces lifted. Now let's do it right this time. Cockroach music, survival from primal doctrine. Locked in the aftermath is real. Nuclear winter enters with rich lynches. Fall out, suit, use, grin and bury. Scream from Holocaust, swallow soft, hollow cough. From the frost is quite caustic. Oh shit, monetary system is shut down. Begging water for bread and water.
Don't lay down, I make you primary color spectrum. Lesson, say what's on your mind. I see the things that actual freedom couldn't teach you. Less speech, reach your ego, verbal nothingness. I'm loving this. Anyone can take like a fight like a pterodactyl, fat, will keep your bones dry. Make it till the skeleton scramble up with no eyes. I can hit until the metronome need a rise.
The last one. Succeed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will try to use the opposite element, fire. We need to light the way for Johnny's soul. For a man, fire is a necessary condition of daily life. It gives warmth, it gives light, brings pleasure, joy, but also pain. At the same time, fire is ancient symbol of death and purification. And fire also symbolizes God's love, which burns and warms, even in the mind's coldness, darkness. This fire can also consume a part of your sadness and grief, because the power of fire is endless. So please, go nearer and let the candle sail. They try. They try.
I don't think that wind will lift it.
Try.
I don't think that wind will lift it. Think like that.
Which one? Oh, that song? That's on the new album. No, I didn't put the songs on there, but I can send you.
Já myslím, že to budu znovu zakládat.
Asi nevím, no.
Ale jo.
Asi nebude.
To nepůjde, je strašný vítr.
But once it hits the water,
No, once the wind hits
once
it.
the wind hits it,
Oh, shoot.
The important thing is that the light shows for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, once it hits that water, it's because that can burn down a little. Now, only place I'll be sneaking over the recipes. I need teaching them, stuff the house and all that. So I didn't know. Where you at? I've been teaching them how to cook.
Oh, Nico,
Yeah.
you managed. You
are the only one who
You're the only one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're for us to keep. Is that what it is? Okay.
Oh, yes. He did the first one, and it's going to set a boat on fire.
Yeah, real fire. Light it up for real.
Oh.
He's my only gift. Okay. Is he still working? Yeah, I was talking to him. The boy, sounds like the new one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know anybody. Always be making fun of him. Like, you gonna use a bar? No. Messing with that boy.
Amongst you fuckers
A video. Just the last 2 weeks.
I moved there February 21st.
Her name is Halsey. I didn't know who she was until I looked her up. The director, Colin
down on your way
Tillage.
to football.
This dude done videos for
Next to the technical school, that big ugly glass building.
Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West.
Okay, let's try to say it all together. Okay.
He no longer walks beside us in physical form,
but now resides in the unseen realms. To our ancestors we should say, you have gone before us
and given us our lives. You who are ancestors of our blood, and you who are ancestors of the Spirit, may you guide Johnny to the realms of renewal. May he join your company, and there find healing for all the hurts of the body and soul. And may he continue to grow in wisdom and power. May he meet those among you that he has known and loved before. And may he be embraced, welcomed, and loved. Johnny,
we wish you all the best.
On your journey. We miss you so much, but we release you with an open heart filled with love. Grow, grow and be free. May your soul find home, love, and light.
Amen.
See my life open wide, look into my soul, see what's inside. You see past is shrouded by the sky, Hawaii's across the countryside. I'm so glad that I'm alive, and the stream where dreams collide. Stop and smell a rose thrown into the throes, the little gifts the world provide. Still see good, still see peace, and you may be surprised. Kids gunned down, stress hard to get all cold inside. Looking to the future's looking bright. Stop the war, missiles fly, mother sun's running high. Yeah, we still giving the gift alive. Some of us won't make it, some of us will die. Sometimes I just wanna cry, but the little things that keep me sane. Sometimes I feel the joy, and sometimes I wanna fly. It's the little things in life that brings you joy. The little girls and little boys, and it's the little things in life that might bring a tear to my eye. Damn, I love it live. Like when leaves fall in Indian summer. Like a child that couldn't run, but now is a runner. Like a rapper on a come up. Like a big human being, and not a freaking number. Like kissing the cheek of my mother. Like Virginia Beach, Dairy Queen, like Woodside in '83. Like Mount Cashmore, flying kites in the spring great 7 cities. Like Prague in the winter, snow on the ground and a crazy bar to enter. Like Swazik in the center, like Charles Bridge, and all the castles better. Just a little thing to keep me from being better. Like it brings you down, but I still seem to keep my chin up. Like I never want to give up. Never. Like I never want to give up. Yeah. It's the little things in life that brings you joy. The little girls and little boys. And it's the little things in life that might bring a tear to my eye. Damn, I love the life. Damn, I love the life. Little things that make life, little things that make life great. Little things that make life, little things that make life, little things that make life great. Little things that make life, little things that make life, little things that make life great. I wanna change, I wanna change. Woo! Oh,
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's slowly return to the real world. Thank you so much for coming or joining online. Thank you. Please have a drink, snack, and talk. Please, someone open the champagne. Thank you. Thank you. It's coming, hopefully. Thank you. Thank you. It's,
Guys,
please.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Love you, Daddy. The light rings on.
Wait till these restrictions lift. We don't have an encore. We're really on the encore. I left the crutch in the dumpster, walked the paved hillside.